Hey there, kings and queens. So today we're talking about healing the soul. And that essentially means the recovery and restoration of our being. So who we are, in addition to our mind, our emotions, and our will. In this journey of life, there are going to be times and periods when we may lose sight of who we are. We may feel lost. We may feel like we're questioning our identity or our purpose, even questioning our emotions, questioning ourselves. And this is when the focus of healing shifts to a more personal, intimate, and eternal form of work. So when we experience or engage in things that are toxic, things that are negative and self-destructive, all of those things leave imprints on us. They leave imprints on our souls. We can think of these imprints as soul wounds. So a soul wound can be anything from a tragedy that we've experienced or trauma that we've experienced, life events that have left imprints on us, or it could be something that we've experienced in our relationships or interactions with other people in our social environment. These things can all be easily defined or referred to as soul wounds. There are 4 signs that I'm going to give you guys to do a self-evaluation of whether or not you have sustained some soul wounds. And in reality, we have all probably sustained soul wounds at some point in time, whether it be from that moment when your friend let you down, or something that happened when you were a child that was really, really scary. It's a pretty common thing, and that's why we need to talk about the healing of those things. So here are some 4 signs that I want you guys to try and use and kind of do a self-evaluation of your soul wounds, so that we can start working towards healing and wholeness. The first sign, which is probably the most common, is mental illness. Of course, mental illness may have roots in genetic reasoning. However, there are some times when mental illness are direct results of the experiences we've had in our life, whether it's something that someone said to us, whether it's something that someone did to us. All of these things can contribute to our mental health and can cause mental illness. So, mental illness is one, and number 2 goes right along with mental illness, and that is the absence of peace. So if you're feeling like you are in a state of uneasiness, or your life just feels so chaotic, and you just feel like there's no peace, that absence of peace is a sign of a soul wound, something that needs to be addressed, healed, or confronted. Number 3 is low self-esteem and self-hate. And those can be some hard topics to address, but if we pretend that they don't exist, then they continue to be a problem. So, addressing parts of your being that is struggling with loving yourself or recognizing who you are and your worth, that's so important. And when you're noticing those moments and experiences in which you are kind of hating on yourself, or you're just feeling like you're less than, that is a sign of a soul wound. And lastly, which we probably don't think about often, but number 4 is when you are living below your purpose or your calling and your potential. So when you are living below your potential, that means that you are settling for less than you deserve and less than you are called to be or called to do. That is a sign of a soul wound, and it kind of goes hand in hand with that low self-esteem or that self-hate. Because if you recognize who you are, and what I always say, whose you are, you will take time to delve into identifying who you're supposed to be, what you're called to do, and working towards that. So those are the 4 signs of soul wounds. What do we do about them? So, 3 quick tips that I want to give you guys about addressing soul wounds and working towards healing them. I am a huge advocate of therapy. I'm going to bring it up almost every time I get a chance. So, of course, therapy can be so beneficial. Therapy is not just for people with severe mental illness. Therapy is an opportunity for you to work on yourself with someone who can be on the outside and not be biased. And it can be someone that you feel comfortable with, a safe space that you can unpack things that you haven't thought about before or think about them differently. The second thing that I would suggest is taking time to have solace. So time to yourself, time to be in quietness and reflect on what you want. Deep questions such as what you need. What needs have not been met in your life that you can start working towards providing for yourself and replenishing. And then number 3 is taking time to set boundaries. In our life, there are so many things that cross our boundaries and violate our boundaries, not just with friends and family members, but even social media. Some of the things that we take in every day when we're on our phones or watching the news and watching TV violates boundaries. It violates our mental health. And being able to set that boundary for yourself and say, okay, I'm not going to view this, I'm not going to watch this, or asking a friend to not send you certain content because you're recognizing how it's impacting or affecting you. That is strong. That is commendable. And I encourage you guys to set those boundaries for yourself and to remain consistent with setting them. It may not be easy at first, but as you continue to practice it, it'll get easier. I wish you guys luck. I love you guys, and I hope that you continue to work on yourselves and loving yourselves and growing in all the ways that you can and healing.